What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pendergast podcast on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. No, it's freaking cold here in Virginia, and I'm sure it is where you are, right?
Oh,
But,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor to sit down with the legend himself, Noah Tardif. But before we get into this episode is sponsored by Next Level Financial. Take control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today by Seth Starnes. Seth Starnes been in everybody in racing knows who Seth is, right? So he's a racer, businessman, so he understands all the ins and outs, right? So it's an absolutely just go to Next Level Financial, everybody, and get it done. And Noah, I tell everybody this: don't buy an off the rack suit with your hard earned money, right? Because for 90% of us, an off the rack suit's not gonna what? It's not gonna fit you correctly. When you have a suit that don't fit you correctly, bro, it causes all kinds of issues on the bike, right? And why would you put yourself and body through that when you can get you a full custom suit, tailored specifically measured for you, right? I got
Yeah.
mine hanging in the background. I got the chest protector, the gloves, the whole nine, right? And this is my first custom suit, and I've been riding for a while. And it's a world of a difference. I mean, I couldn't believe the world of a difference it actually made. Because when you buy an off the rack suit, it's like you compromise. Some
Yeah.
areas it fits you really well, other areas you're like, it'll stretch. I'll lay it out in the sun and all that. No, that don't help. That don't work, right? A little bit, but nothing like a full-fledged custom suit, right? Christmas is right around the corner. New Year's is coming up. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Bisontrack.com. Let's freaking go. But Noah, welcome to Pin to Gas, bro. It's an absolute honor to have you on.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me.
Listen, thank you for coming, man. We actually, so ladies and gentlemen, me and Noah met in Jersey, the last race of the year this year. What caught my eye about Noah right off the jump when I was walking through down to the main paddock was the colors, the bright
Yep.
yellow and the style. I was like, bro, I like this bike right here already, right? And then come to find out he's also a bison rider too as well. So yeah, it's was an honor to meet you and your dad, was it, and your girlfriend too, correct?
Yeah. My dad and my girlfriend, my pick crew for the weekend.
I love it, man. I love it. I love the road racing starts families. That's where it all originates, right? So it's always a beautiful story when father and son get together and go racing, right, or riding, or whatever it is, whatever style of riding it is. You don't. One thing, dude. I've done over 300 episodes, and I've never had one of my friends come on here and say, oh, it was my mom that got me into motorcycles, right? It's always the dad. The mom's always like, nah, and I get it now being a father because we just want to protect our kids at all costs. We don't want to see you get hurt because it kills us more than it kills you. I know you probably heard your parents say that, but it's
Yep.
absolute the truth, right? But you'll find out one day when you are blessed with a kid, and it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to you, right? But Noah, listen, we got a lot to talk about. So tell us your journey. Where did it begin with you on motorcycles?
So I got a little bit later start than most people normally do, especially at the Moto America level. I didn't even get on a dirt bike or anything, motorcycle, nothing until I was 21. So about 5 years ago, I got on the bike for the first time. I always wanted a motorcycle, but mom said no. So couldn't get a bike until I graduated college. Graduated college. My buddy had a little dual sport 250 and he didn't want it anymore. So I took it off his hands and that's what I learned to ride on. And I got my motorcycle license on that and rode on that for a year. And then after that, I decided to buy a sport bike. So I bought my first sport bike. It was a Ninja 650, little parallel twin, pretty approachable. Um, and then within a month of buying that, I took it to the track. I did track days. I think by my third track day, I was like, all right, I'm ready to go racing. Um,
Yeah.
so I started looking into it, realized you have to really prep the crap out of your bike to get it ready for racing. And I wasn't quite ready for that yet. So luckily, my local organization, Penguin Racing School, and NEMR, New England Motorcycle Road Racing, they have this class called Super Street, which lets you bring your track day prep motorcycle out and race in the whole like race weekend, which is awesome. So that's how I got started racing. So I did a half season of that, and then that's when I decided we're doing this. So I bought a Ninja 400 and spent the winter building it myself. and here we are now. I think that was my third full season on the Ninja 400.
And I love it. And the thing about everybody's beautiful journey into our sport, it's all different, right? It all stems from the original stem. It's like a tree growing from the ground. We get on two wheels, right? And then from there, it just branches off, and everybody chooses different directions on what they go, but they end up at the same spot, racing, right? Whether it's club level, Moto America level, whatever it is. So, speaking of college, bro, what did you do in college?
I did mechanical engineering, so I graduated with a mechanical engineering degree and a minor in business administration.
Nice, man. So, do you work now? Do you have a full-time job now?
Yeah, I'm a aerospace engineer.
Bro, my brother's an aerospace engineer. He went to Embry-Riddle in Florida. Now I don't even think he does anything with the aeronautical side of it. He man, I forget where he works at. He's done switched jobs several times. I know the last time he was telling me about a job, he did something with the security and stuff and the apps on phones for some big company or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. It sounded kind of cool anyway. But man, that's awesome, man. Engineer, dude, that's a great diploma. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication to get something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, it wasn't easy.
I guarantee it was not easy. Look, here comes Rossi with the puppies. Always got to show her off.
Go
Say
show
hi,
puppy
world. Say my name is Princess Fiona.
Simcoe.
Yep, Simcoe. Come here, Fiona. Say hi, everybody.
She wants to go.
She wants to go
to the couch, but I robbed her.
You robbed her to come in here?
I kidnapped her.
You remember Noah, don't you, from Jersey?
Oh, yeah. I kidnapped her from stopping to get on the couch so I could bring her in here. She's probably mad. Look at her. She's like, please let me go. Okay.
He said Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Here, give me.
All right, here you go. Take her. Yep. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's got everything. Yep, and pick her up. Yeah, so my other dog, I got my other dog in here, Charlie, right? Dude, is she... There she is with the pink sweater, right? She is not happy that I brought this puppy home, bro. She is mad as you know what. But she's like 13-year-old pit, so she's setting her old way. She'll be all right though. She'll come around eventually. And my two cats, I got two cats too, and Cookie, she just don't give a shit, right? She's just, yeah, whatever. She's cool. Monster, on the other hand, well, he's a monster. We named him that for a reason. He hisses at her and growls, but he ain't try to swat her or nothing because they know that she's a little baby, right? But again, it's just gonna take time for everybody to get used to each other. So yeah, man. Yeah. So dude, aeronautical engineering, bro, congratulations. That is one hell of a career, man. That's you can go far with it too. I mean, you always have jobs no matter where you go, you know.
Yeah, I mean, my professors always told me my first day of the job, you're not going to know what the hell you're doing because the field's so broad. So that definitely proved to be true.
That's a fact, Noah. And then so going back to motorcycle talk, man, you what was it, a DR250, the first one your buddy had?
It was some Chinese bike off of Amazon. I think it was a Hawk 250, and I still think they sell it today.
Oh my god! Did it run good at least?
That thing gave me so many problems. It had a kickstarter and an electric starter. The kickstarter never worked, which is hilarious. You'd think the electric starter never worked, but the electric starter worked better than the kickstarter. One time, he stored it for the winter. When he gave it to me, I brought it. He brought it to my house. I tried to get it started. I finally get the thing started, and I shot a mouse nest out the tailpipe like 5 feet off the back of the tailpipe. I was like, oh, that's probably why it wasn't running good.
Sorry, mouse.
So there wasn't even any like signs that they were climbing down the tailpipe either.
That's crazy. That's yeah, man. I worked during this man, what was that? A Rebel 650. And I pulled the carb off because it needed to be clean, and stuff in the intake of this bike where it's been sitting in the dude's garage, like outside barn garage. Dude, it had a freaking hornet's nest in the intake of the motorcycle right down there, right where the valves are. I'm like, That's pretty cool, right? You don't see that every day. So you got to get a little vacuum and suck it all out, all that shit, right? But dude, so going from that to buying a Ninja 650, which those are great bikes, man. I was a fan of the 650. It's a great commuter. It's a great city bike. Gas mileage, of course, on any motorcycle is decent, except for the RC51. It sucks, right? Great commuter bike, not so good as a race bike or a track day bike, right?
No, it's a heavy pig.
Probably
When I
ties
bought
itself
it,
to knots all the time when you try to push it too, don't it?
yeah, when I bought it, I originally bought it to just drive around with my friends and just commute and everything and take it places. And then my mom kept harping on me that riding on the street was dangerous, and she told me to go to the track. And here we are now. And now she says, "When are you going to stop riding motorcycles?"
That'll be never, Mama. But thank you so much for giving me the opportunity and the blessing to go to the track. You are loved dearly, right? Yes, it's for moms, I think it's that whole she just wants to protect you, right? Because she knows,
Yeah.
man. I don't like to use the word dangerous. I don't. They're just not for everybody, right? And we all know the risk when we ride motorcycles. I mean, everybody knows the risk when they skydive or they base jump or whatever sport, right? There's always risk, but the rewards are just so worth the risk, right? That's something we don't never even think about. Yeah, man. So going from that, what made you decide to buy the Ninja 400? Did you have the Junior Cup class in mind? Is that something you wanted to start in, or?
Not particularly, no, not at all. So when I was riding the 650, I ended up getting in one of the garages with some of the older riders up at my club, like Rick Doucette. He was in the garage behind me, and then Tim O'Connor and Rick Breen were in the garage with me, and they kept seeing that I kept coming back time after time again, and they're like, all right, maybe this kid's gonna stick with it. So then I started talking about maybe getting a new bike, and then they told me, you want to learn how to ride a bike, you want to learn your skills first before you get a bigger bike. So start on a Ninja 400. So that's what I did.
I'm a big believer in small bikes. You learn so much more riding a small bike fast than a fast bike slow. I mean, let's just be honest, and I say this all the time. We don't need 230 horsepower on a motorcycle. We just don't need it. And the reason why I say that, Noah, it sounds cool. Yes, it's freaking phenomenal, but track wise, they tone down the power and the torque anyway to go faster around the track. So what's the point, of having all that horsepower? That's part of us men being gladiators, and we always gotta have the biggest, baddest shit. We're Spartans. We need the biggest shields and the swords and all that shit, right? It's hard for us to put our ego to the side and accept that, okay, I can actually learn on this small bike, like really, really learn what a bike's supposed to feel like when you're pushing it, when the front starts to go, the rear starts to come around, the slides, the whole nine, right? And then when you do make that progression to the bigger bike, yeah, you have a full understanding of what it feels like when shit's getting ready to go south, right? So I'm a huge fan. I try to tell my knucklehead friends that, and they're like, "No, I gotta have the freaking BMW S1000 RR and all this shit." I'm like, "Bro, you don't need that bike. Like, is it cool? Absolutely. Is she beautiful? She's fucking gorgeous, right? She's got all the cool, pretty electronics and all this shit on it, right? Which, cool, whatever. But you don't need it because you're not gonna learn anything new at all. Like nothing. Matter of fact, I feel like, how do I want to say this? So people growing up now getting into motorcycles that have all these electronics on it, I think it takes away an element of the natural talent of what it really feels like to ride a motorcycle, right? And it takes the feeling around. Now you see them now where, dude, on the super bikes, they got track, they know what track they're on, what gear they're in, they change, dude, all this shit every fucking corner of the track, right? And they're just doing this.
Yeah, they can. I know it's crazy finding out that they can change the engine braking and traction control depending on what corner they are. Obviously, that comes with the big budgets. That's only the top teams, but the fact that they're doing that's crazy.
Bro, it's absolutely insane. The whole like aero. I don't know how you feel about aero on bikes, but I'm just not a fan. Do they look good if it's very minimum, right? But now they're getting, it's like, dude, you got aero wings on them this freaking big. We don't need wings on them that big. And I understand MotoGP, that's where it all technology comes from, right? Traction control engine, right? Blah, 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 right? And it trickles down to our street bikes to make them safer. I get it. But bro, if you was to give me a bike that had launch control, every fucking stop sign and stoplight I'm at, Noah, I'm what bam, dude, straight up, right? I'm going to jail. I'm gonna be in trouble. And in the whole wing thing, no, we don't need wings on the street because you're never gonna ride them fast enough to get the benefit
Never
of
gonna
them
be
anyway.
Well, most people won't reach that speed.
Most people, right. And it's you see all these YouTubers on there in the canyons getting, dude. I used to ride just like that on the street, right? I was one of those squids out there dragging knees and all this shit on titanium knee sparks. And when your knee hits the ground, it's just like 4th of July, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, that's cool as hell, dude." But not take it to the track. It's so much safer. It's so much cheaper, right? And you have a less likely chance of smacking a telephone pole or another car, or any of that shit, right? I think those guys that put out those videos actually kind of give a bad name to our sport.
Yeah, those videos. Yeah, I always see the riders out on the street just doing stupid shit or watching those videos. I'm like, guys, you're the couple rotten bunch that just makes all of us look bad. But whatever. Now you have that and everything. So.
Dude, no, you will. Absolutely, you will, right? So, dude, buying a Ninja 400, I think it's a great bike, right? I was really hoping that they were going to make the Ninja 400 RR the twins, not twins cup, but the junior cup bike. Obviously, junior cup's not no more, right? Now it's the talent cup. What do you think about that?
I kind of watched a podcast or listened to one of the podcasts about why they were talking about why they're getting there, and it makes sense in my head, but I don't. Is it the right bike? I guess we'll find out. But it makes sense what they're trying to do with Moto America and in that talent cup with the bikes to try to get more Americans to the world stage, because we definitely have only a handful at the world stage, and their goal is to get more there. I think it makes sense. Just we'll see if the route they picked is the right one. But I definitely want to see more Americans on the world stage for sure.
Oh, me too, bro. Like we need Americans over there, and we need more of the Europeans over here. I think it's great for the sport. It brings outside sponsorships, from the UK or Europe, and brings sponsorships that we have in America that over there too as well. I feel like, I mean, I love the format. We'll just have to see how well it is. I still got mixed feelings when we're the only ones in the world racing the new Kramer 350 when everybody else is on the NSF 250s. You know what I mean? That, and we just don't have the training structure that the Europe has for our kids that grow up. They're 3 years old on GP chassis little motorcycles, and that's what they stay on. They go out there in the parking lots. I know we do too, but their whole structure is set up completely different than our structure, right? And I'm gonna use this example. My homeboy Rossi Moore, right? Absolute phenomenal rider. But when you go back and you watch him race, dude, his whole body position, it's like he is a Moto 2 rider, Moto 3 rider, his body position, everything, because he went over there and he trained, right? You don't see that in our Moto America. I'm not saying that, dude, all my friends are absolutely devastating fast. Could they go over there and do well? Absolutely. We need the training structure too as well. I just don't think having a GP chassis motorcycles is going to be a direct route, just for that one bike. And then Noah, let's just say you leave Talent Cup, and if you don't go over there and get on another GP bike chassis, right?
Right. Yeah, it's the chassis.
Yeah, you're what? Twins Cup or Super Sport,
right?
So you're right back into production racing. So I don't know. We'll see. I know the bike. I've been doing a lot of investigation. It is a KTM 350 enduro motor. So yeah, we'll see, man. Well, I think it looks good. The bike looks good. I seen it in Jersey. Did you happen to go by there and look at it in Jersey?
No, it looked pretty sweet. Honestly, it looked like I could fit on it, and because I struggle sometimes to fit on the 400, being at 6'2". So sometimes it's really hard for me to get behind the bubble, especially when drafting comes into play huge at New Jersey, because it's a fast and flowy track and there's some long straightaways. So getting behind the bubble is difficult for me sometimes at those type of tracks. So I was looking at the Kramer 350, and it looks like I could fit on it. Probably just as well as on the Ninja 400, but I think I could ride it.
I think you could too, man. You know, I mean, it's what 22.5, I think, for one. Yeah, I think it's like $22,000,
Yeah.
23,000, something like that. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting year this year in Moto America. Matter of fact, across all racing, right? A lot of stuff's changed, and it's going to be good, man. It is. So going back to when you first got your Ninja 400, you did track days, and then you got into club racing. So what made you decide to say, "Hey, I want to do Moto America," right? And why did you pick Jersey as the first race for you in Moto America?
So when I got my Ninja 400, that one went straight. I went straight into club racing, doing track days without. And my first year racing the 400, um, the Loudon Classic came in. Well, we've always had Loudon Classic. My Loudon Classic was there my first year, but I started the second half of the season, so I didn't get to see that. So my first season on the 400, saw the Loudon Classic, saw some big names coming. That was cool. And then my second year on the 400, it was like the 100th, so that was everyone was there. It was crazy, and I saw how many local guys were there that had previous careers in the AMA days or at our club, or just the guys now that from our club that are going to do Moto America, like Pete Hobbs, Ben Glotty, Eli Block, and then you have some of the ones that go just a few rounds, like Renee Franco and Adam Mascaro and Nathan Betancourt. So there was a lot of Moto America riders in our paddock, so I was like, well, if they can do it, I mean, why not? I've always just wanted to take a shot at a professional sport as a kid. It's every kid's dream, right? You always ask a little kid what they want to be, and they're gonna tell you astronaut, firefighter, some professional athlete or something.
Right.
So I figured, you know what, screw it, let's try to make it for 1 year. And we're gonna this year. I made the decision like last October. I think I was like, all right, we're doing this. So I got a riding coach and a mental performance coach, and we worked on a lot of stuff. Took a couple trips down to Florida over the winter to keep my riding up over throughout the winter, and I booked out my schedule. I was on track 37 days last year of riding, and the year before that was 31 days. Because the year before that, I was like, oh, maybe we'll try. So I went to the track a lot, and then this year I definitely went to the track a lot. And then halfway through the year in like July, we were supposed to like be my riding coach. We're gonna sit down and like make a decision. All right, let's see if we think we can go make it. And then before we got to that point, they said Junior Cup's gone next year, and I went, all right, well, we're fucking doing it. We're going. We're either gonna qualify or we're not. So we're going. We're doing it. And that's how the decision was made.
I love it, man. I love it. It's rider coach is big, right? I tell people, if you're gonna spend money on your bike, everybody always wants the fancy shiny shit, right? I gotta have the exhaust and power coming on. No, you don't. Absolutely, it's not gonna make you faster. It's just gonna sound cool, right? Let's just be honest. What you need to do is do suspension and riding coaching. That's what you need, right? Because that'll teach you properly your body position and what to do, what not to do, and how to improve and all that. Yeah, you can spend hours reading books and watching on video, but being there at the track with somebody that's actually showing you how to do it, and you implement it, and then you see it on the stopwatch, you're actually progressing. It means a whole lot more, right? I learn on hands on, right? You sit me in front of a book, and I'm like, I kind of get it, right? But you
Yeah.
take me out there and you show me, I'm like, oh shit, I get it now, right? It's that's just the way I learn.
Yeah.
But riding coach is very important, Noah, right? That and you mentioned something about a mental coach, and I'm glad you said that, bro, because motorcycle racing is such, not even that, life is such a mental game, right? And so having that mental coach, what improvements did you notice the most by having him around all the time?
There's a lot of tools that you can use and help pick up. Like for example, a lot of times when you ride on the track, so when you make a mistake, it's just stuck in your head, and then you keep making mistake after mistake. So we worked on breaking that cycle. You make a mistake, all right, reset. Work on some tactics to help reset that in your head, so you're not continuing making mistakes for lap after lap. So that's one thing. That was a huge takeaway. That one helped quite a bit. Well, just like stuff to help settle your heart rate and settle your breath, settle your mind, make sure you're like fully focused, help you get into the flow state, stuff like that. It was very helpful throughout the season, especially at the end for Moto America, helped calming the nerves, calming the anxiety, and all that. Of holy shit, we're here. You've been dreaming about this, and now you're here with oh look, there goes Loris Baz, Cam Peterson, right down. There goes Sean Dalen Kelly. You're like, holy shit, everyone's here. Then you're on track. There's Matthew Chapin and Avery Dreyer and Eli Block, and then got all the kids. And you're just like, holy shit, we're here.
We're here. It's live. Let's go. Right.
Yep.
And you're right. Right. Being there on TV around everybody you've been fans of. So let me take it back. Were you a fan of road racing before you got a motorcycle? I mean, is that something you watched growing up as a kid, or dirt bike racing or anything like that?
Me and my dad would put on. We'd scroll through the channels. We'd watch all kinds of stuff on the TV. We'd watch like Supercross. Not often though. It's just if we caught it, we'd Supercross, or we'd watch some motorcycle road racing if it was on. Mostly MotoGP though. Or we'd watch NASCAR races or whatever. It was just if something we caught on. It wasn't something that was like for most people watching football every Sunday. It definitely wasn't anything like that for us. Just occasionally. And then I went to the track, and that's when I started watching all the Moto America stuff on YouTube and everything, all the races that they post and all the clips, and watching some riders like YouTube videos that they post, just trying to watch the races, see if I could learn anything just from watching. And then
for sure,
going to track days and then taking a class and then talking to the coach, like, hey, so I saw this, do you think this will work, whatever. And that's kind of how it went. So I became more of a fan of road racing after I started.
I love it, man. So obviously you watch Moto America and MotoGP, but do you watch World Superbike or British Superbikes or the Isle of Man TT or anything like that?
Yeah, so I try to mostly watch stuff on YouTube. So I have seen a lot of clips from the Isle of Man TT, and then whatever I see from World Superbikes, a lot of the little short clips, or I'll watch a full race if they put it on YouTube for World Superbike. And I think it was British Superbike Championships this year. There was a crazy shootout for the championship. I saw that like last 7 minutes in that race. That was insane. I saw one video where they like counted how many times each rider combined. They were like between the two of them, it was like 20 something overtakes for them to get to 1 and 2 from where they started on the grid, and then they just kept passing each other back and forth. It was like 22, 23 overtakes between the two of them for that race, which is crazy.
Bro, I love BSB. To me, it's my favorite production race series in the world. And you're talking about Tommy Birdwell and brain fart, freaking my God, I can't remember his name. Ron Vickers. No, not Ron Vickers. Anyway, it was that last lap, dude, of that race was fucking phenomenal. And the year before in 2023, no, you need to go back and YouTube that one in BSB, because it was Tommy Birdwell and Glenn Irvin. It was Kyle Ride. Kyle Ride and Tommy went together this year. Kyle ended up with the title. And then last year, Tommy ended up with the title. Him and Glenn were on the same Ducati. Then when Tommy won the title, he took the #1 plate to Honda, right? Which he almost backed up. And if he would have won that, he would have been the first rider in history in BSB to win a title on 2 different manufacturers back to back.
Right.
So, but it's free.
That race was crazy. That lap, the last quarter, he almost lost it. He almost lost it and high-sided himself on the last corner. I saw that and I was like, holy shit, he saved it.
But that's what we want to see as fans too, right? Is that just all out brawl war? It's absolutely phenomenal, man. It is. And plus the commentators, dude, they're all into it. It ain't like here in Moto America, which they do a good job. Nikki, freaking Roger, and Pridmore and Greg White and all them. But the Europeans, bro, they're like football commentators, dude. They're all into it, screaming and shouting, and yeah, it brings us different energy, right? But you can go watch BSB for free, Noah. You can watch it on your phone or your laptop. It's Bennett'sBritishSuperbikes.com during the weekend. Scroll down, it's big yellow, go live, click it, boom, there it is. Enjoy, my friend. It's plus their Superbike class, they don't have the electronics that all the other classes in the world have. They have minimum electronics. So they have some traction control. but not too much other than that. It's only a certain amount of levels that they have. So basically, let's say no, you go out and buy a brand new V4R. It's got all these freaking bells and whistles. They rip all that shit out and put on the BSB wiring harness in the ECU, right? So it takes all that away. So now it puts more of the skill in your hands, right? In your wrist versus the engineer going back there going, all right, try that. You know what I'm saying? And looking at all these squiggly lines and all this shit, being like, well, you see right here, it says you should be at 80%, throttle. And you're like, dude, I'm at 100%. They're like, bro, it says right here you're at 30%. Well, what are you doing? It's wrapping your head around all that, again, going back to the mental side of it, it's very important because I feel like everybody in life, especially in racing, they put these barriers up. Like you said, you have a bad session, you have a crash. That's all you think about, right? So it's this mental block. How do you overcome that? How do I hurdle this so I'm not thinking about it more so I can progress? And that's huge in road racing because it's mostly mental anyway, right? Of course, there's physical sides of it. Noah's got to be in shape to last the 14, 18 laps, whatever it is, right? But the mental game has got to be absolutely strong. So let me ask you this, Noah, going from club racing to doing your first Moto America event, what were the major differences to you between the two?
It's just you get there and you're just like, it's a lot more, I don't know. The main difference, like the schedule isn't that crazy between like all the different qualifyings and everything. It's really getting the timing down for everything. Like trying to make sure you have your bike at hot pit properly, making sure your bike's properly set up to the rules. I think I read the rule book like 5 times to make sure I had everything. And I think still missed a couple things. It's a good thing. Some of my fellow NEMA riders were down there and I could ask them questions and beforehand so I could get the bike set up beforehand. But just the timing and the rules is you just got to be on top of that and make sure you have everything. Just making sure you have everything in the right spot at the right time. Managing your tires, that's something I haven't really had to deal with. You only get so many tire stickers. Each class has a different amount, and we only had so many. So managing tires too, playing that game. Like back to timing, turning on your tire warmers a certain time. Like I have a certain routine before I get on the bike, so timing when I'm going to get on the bike, like get that routine set up and go down to the hot pit, make all that stuff. Timing's probably the biggest difference.
Yeah, and plus club racing is more laid back. Me and Noah could show up and laugh and giggle, and dude, half the time when they make an announcement, shit, you can't even hear it. You got to ask somebody, what did they just say? Moto America, it's not like that. It's you hear it. It's plain as day.
Yep.
And the pressure of club racing is just, to me, is a lot less, right? And I've never raced in Moto America, but I could see where it adds a different stress level to it.
Because there's another whole other level of like stress and pressure at that level.
Dude, I guarantee it, Noah. And obviously I was there and I watched it, and dude, you listen, you did absolutely phenomenal for your first time in Moto America. Did that weekend go the way you expected it to go?
Yeah, I mean, we went in, we didn't really have crazy expectations. We just wanted to have no DNSs or DNFs in the races or any of the sessions, really. We just want to stay on 2 wheels all weekend and not finish last, and we did that. So that was great.
Absolutely. And so do you, in club racing, do you ride on Dunlops too, or are you a Pirelli guy or Bridgestone or?
So I've been a Dunlop guy for all my whole time. I had Dunlop street tires, and then I just went to the Dunlop slicks, and I never switched. I just stayed on Dunlop slicks, so I was used to the tires.
Sweet. When I did club racing and a lot of track days, I always got Pirellis. I like the feel of Pirellis. I like Dunlop too. I got Dunlops on my RC51, right? I'm a Dunlop fan too. To me, the Pirellis, man, they just, from the get-go, you're like, I feel everything. This thing's got so much fucking grip, but then when it drops off, she drops you like a fucking bad habit, and you're like, where'd you go? What is this, right? Where Dunlop is it is super grippy, and you do get a tremendous amount of feel, but when the tire starts to go off, you actually feel it, kind of like in stages, which is kind of weird. It lets you know, but you know what I'm saying? Where to me, the Pirelli really don't let you know until it lets you know. And when it lets you know, it really lets you know. You know what I mean? You're like, uh-oh.
Ridden on Pirellis once, but that was on a ZX6R at Jennings, and Jennings has a shitload of grip.
It does.
That's a fun thing too.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So, Moto America weekend, man, it was an absolute honor to meet you there, bro, and spend some time together and eat and all that good stuff. And again, meet your girlfriend and your dad. So what's the game plan in 2025?
So they got rid of the Junior Cup class. So once I decided I was going to do Junior Cup, I was going to try to do as many seasons as I could before I either got a bigger bike or aged out. To try to give me some more time, but they got rid of it. So that plan kind of went out the window. I was going to try to do 2 or 3 rounds next year, but they got rid of it, so I can't. So I got to get a bigger bike. I think I'm going to go the Super Sport class, but that's changing so much, so I want to see how that shakes out and what happens there with all the ever-changing rules and everything, and kind of see how the new player, the R9, works out there, and kind of see how some of the other bikes and how they do for the balancing for that. And there's some weird stuff going on with Super Sport with some new bikes entering and everything. So I kind of want to see how that shakes out. And then Twins Cup, I thought about doing Twins Cup too, but again, it comes down to getting a new bike. And last year was a lot, so we try to do as much as we can with sponsors, but it's an expensive sport, so we're just gonna club race next year and make sure we're training like we're on a super sport bike, so that way if an opportunity arises, I can hop on one and we'll be good to go. We'll be ready to rock at all times next year.
I love it, man. I love it. Do you have any particular bike in mind you kind of want to get for Super Sport?
It keeps changing. Because
I keep going. You sound like me, bro. I'm like, yeah, I want this, and I'm like, I don't know, but she's beautiful. You seen her? I kind of want her a little bit better. Yeah, I feel you on that.
They all have their advantages and disadvantages. It's just kind of I want see a little bit more time on which bike does what, where, and how the balancing and everything works with them, and do a little bit more research into what you need to get them ready. Because I know a lot of them need some electronics for the limiting and everything. So it's kind of looking into that and seeing how much and how available those parts are for that too.
Oh, 100%. You know, if you was to ask me like 2 years ago, I'd say the best bike for Super Sport, bang for the buck, in my personal opinion, but everybody's got their own opinions, right? Would be the GSXR 750 motor. You wouldn't have to touch, you know, you just buy the fly by wire and the throttle bodies and all that, which is 10 grand, right? On top of the bike, but boom, you're going super sport racing, you know. And then you have a R6 where you can do some stuff to the motor, so you can go ahead and guarantee count on at least one motor build throughout the season. And that's, well, hell, we already know how expensive that is. That is not cheap. You know, that's an extra 10 grand plus on top of that. And then of course the Ducati is, man, it's such a beautiful bike. Huge Ducati fan. It's got all the upfront costs, but again, it's kind of like the Gixxer. It's more expensive, but you don't touch it. Basically, you know, you get it dialed into the rules and the regulations and let it eat. You know, now with the new R9 coming in, I'm super excited to see that. I'd love to see manufacturers come out with new bikes, right? It means that they're evolving and everything's good, which is good. We need all the manufacturers in there. And I feel like the 600 class is going to be like the new superbike class, not in the sense to where it's going to be astronomically attack Yamaha expensive, right? Or M4 expensive. It's you can't really go out and buy too many of these 1000s anymore, right? I mean, you can, but it's not like the 600
base bike.
Yeah, right. And then you dump
starting point, but that's about it.
Yeah, and then you dump, you know, 200 grand into it, whatever it is, and boom. But not everybody's got that money. Where a 600 is more feasible, it's more cost effective. I mean, honestly, bang for the buck, bro. The Kawasaki ZX6R, dude, you can buy one of those brand new for 12 grand, and that's the cheapest 600 you can get. When the R6 was still for sale, the CBR, it was like what, 14, 15 grand. Actually, the ZX6R was like 10.5 or 10.9, which is ridiculous, you know, which is great right now in these days and times. And the new R9, I forget what the MSRP on that thing was. I want to say 12. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I've ridden a ZX6R. It was really fun. And a couple of my buddies have R6s that they've offered me to hop on for a track day or a session next year. So we'll see what shakes out. And then there's a couple guys at the club that absolutely love their Triumphs. So there's a lot of different bikes to pick from out there.
Listen, the triple, I will say this, I've rode several 675 triples and they're fucking awesome. They feel great. They're light, they're nimble, they give a whole lot of feedback, and that motor, bro, it sounds so good. You got all the mid-range torque you want, you got the bottom end, and you got top speed. I mean, it's almost the best bang for the buck motor-wise to me. R6, you got to rev the tits out of it, right? I mean, just to get it going. The ZX6R's got, you know, decent mid-range, but it's still pretty much all top. It's got a little bit better mid than the R6, even though on the dyno it's roughly the same numbers, but all motors make power and torque in a different manner, in a different feel, right? Never rode the R7. I want to. I got a bunch of friends that race them. But yeah, man, that Triumph. I mean, my good buddy Kevin Horney and Logan Monk, they raced the Triumph 675 in Moto America last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can get y'all in touch together and you can pick their brain about it. They both absolute, because actually my mate Kevin Horney was on the R6 and switched to the Triumph 675. I was like, bro, this bike is so much better, right? But again, everybody's got their own opinions. One might suit you better than the other. I mean, let's just be honest. That's how it is. It's like, I consider them like a pair of shoes, bro. You see a pair of shoes you want. We just had this conversation with my son. He's like, Dad, I want Jordan 4s. I want Jordan 4s. I'm like, okay, I'll go out and buy you a pair of Jordans for Christmas. So we got out to the mall the other day. They had 3s and 4s. And kids, he wears a 7, right? I said, what you need to do is you need to try them both on. Just because you like the 4s better than the 3s, the 4s might suck when you put them on your feet and be like, no, absolutely not. He's like, okay. I talked him into trying them on. He ended up with the 3s. He's like, dude, these are so much more comfortable. It's just like a motorcycle, right? You like them, they look good, you get on them. You could tell right away when you take it out, you're gonna have to do a lot of changes to make it suit you and make you comfortable on it. Versus you get on something else, you're like, oh, I feel great straight away. You know what I mean? Which is freaking awesome. So we have a good buddy of mine all the way from the UK says, hey, Chris. Hey, Noah. How you both doing? Hope you both have a fabulous Christmas. Chris, mate, I hope your Christmas is absolutely proper mega like you, and thank you so much. We are both doing good. Noah's a freaking legend and a champ. We will see him back out there on the grid of Moto America in the future. And when you guys go club racing, what state are you in again, Noah?
We're up in New England, so New England Motorcycle Road Racing is where at my local club that I race at. But last year I did a little bit down at with Azra.
I gotcha. Did you ever come to VIR?
No, I didn't go to VIR. I went to New Jersey a lot last year.
Well, I mean, Jersey. So where I live in Roanoke, Virginia, man, it's Jersey 6 hours, Mid Ohio 6 hours, Road Atlanta 6 hours, VIR is like 1 hour and 30 minutes. So I got 4 major tracks like within 6 hour drive, right, or less for me,
That's awesome.
Right, which is awesome, and that's not including the tracks in North Carolina that's closer, right, that I can go to. Yeah, man, NC bike and all that. So, and when you mentioned you went down to Florida to ride, man, did you go down there and ride with my friends at SFL Mini GP?
When I went down there, it was I just picked a week and I went. And Eli Block happened to be down there, so we met up a little bit and rode one day. But I spent a week at Bushnell on my YCF 150, and then I popped the motor on that. So then I borrowed Eli's TTR 125.
How you like that YCF 150? Because I almost bought one a couple years ago.
I love it. I mean, I'm 6'2". I fit on it fairly comfortably, and it's fun to rip in the parking lots. Whenever I'm out in the parking lots, you see people slow drive by just watching me, wondering what the heck I'm doing.
I'm having fun. That's what I'm doing. What are you guys doing? You want to have fun? Get your bike. Come on out in the parking lot and let's go. Right? Yeah, absolutely. Are the parts for that thing expensive?
No, like new engine, $700. So, yeah,
that's okay. Yeah, dude. Yeah, man, I should have bought one of those YCF 150. Dude, the bike I always wanted to take to the kart tracks, man, is the CRF 150R. It's a sweet bike. It's a single, the Honda. But dude, there's YCFs. Dude, they're just great looking bikes. Like, and everybody talk about the Ovale, but they're so small.
Yeah, they're pretty small. I think YCF just came out with a new Ovale type bike. I think it's a YCF GP, And then they have the three sizes: the 125, the 150, and the 190.
Yeah, that 190, I'm sure, is freaking insane.
I think they are. I know they're a little bit less. I think it's like $4,000, maybe $5,000 for the 150.
Yeah.
Which is like half the price of the Valley. Still kind of expensive, but it's half the price of the Valley.
That's, dude, 100%, man. So we got Josh Shiver watching. What is up, Josh? We got, dude, my man Steve Moore, bro. Nothing but love, dude. Rossi Moore, we just talked about him earlier. He's a really good friend of mine. He's out there in Europe. Get ready to hand everybody their ass next year, and I cannot wait to see him kick everybody's ass. So what is up, Steve, man, and my buddy Kyle McGill and Matt Brinkley? What's going on, fellas? Have you ever met Rossi Moore?
No, I have not. I didn't get a chance to.
Oh man, he is absolutely amazing human being. Every time I see him, he gives the best. I'm a hugger. He gives the best hugs in the world. I freaking love it, dude. It's amazing. It really is. But yeah, dude. So listen, I can't wait to see you kick butt next year, and even in club racing. Like I told you before we went live, I would love to do more of these podcasts with you next season. We can follow your whole journey as far as club racing goes next year. And then when you get your formalized plans together to make you another assault in Moto America, we'll be on top of it, and everybody will be in the awe and know it all. So I'm looking forward to working with you all next year too as well. I hope you'll be able to make it out to VIR if you ever plan on coming to VIR, bro. I'm literally like an hour and a half down the street. You and your dad and your girlfriend, y'all got a free place to stay here at my house. If you guys, want to crash going to and from, I'll cook dinner, all that good stuff. I'll actually meet you at VIR. I'll bring some steaks or some burgers or something, and I'll cook them on a grill for you guys while you're out there riding on the track. So when you come back in, boom, get your burger, get your hot dog or whatever, and stay focused,
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, man, no problem. Obviously I'll be going to Daytona and a bunch of Moto America rounds next year too as well. So hopefully I'll be able to run into you at one of them, even though you won't be racing. Hopefully you'll show up anyway at Jersey and spectate and have fun.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, no, I'm gonna be racing and club racing. Forget that. I ain't going up there. Yeah.
Racing, that's nothing. It's always hard going someplace to watch racing when you're a racer and you're not right there.
Bro, I seen the expression on your face totally change when I said that. I was making a joke because I already knew your face was like, no, Simcoe, that's not going to happen, but it sounded good, and I appreciate it. It's freaking awesome. Oh, my God. So, Noah, listen, dude, we're almost 50 minutes into this, dude. It goes by so fast all the time. That's what happens when you're having fun and you're sitting down with your friends talking about motorcycles, right? We're actually going to run over a little bit over an hour if you have the time. Before I get in these personal questions, did you want Jorge Martin to win the title or Pecco Bagnaia? What team was you on this year?
I was on Jorge last year and Jorge this year.
Me too, bro. Me too. And everybody's like, no, Pecco. I was like, dude, Pecco done won the title twice. Ducati done shit all over Jorge Martin. They didn't believe in him. Plus, he's the first rider since Rossi in 2001 to win on a privateer team. The bike wasn't a privateer bike, but it was a privateer so-called non-factory team, right? He took the number one plate to Aprilia, which was another big to Ducati, right? Let's just be honest. Like Tommy Birdwell did last year when he left Ducati and went to Honda. I love those stories, man. I like the underdog. I'm an underdog fan, right? Because they come out swinging and they put it all out on the line, right? It's not saying that Pecco didn't, because he did, but you could tell mentally Pecco wasn't where Pecco usually is, right? Because Jorge kept putting all that extra pressure when last year Jorge made a bunch of mistakes. So I think it alleviated a lot of the stress for Pecco as far as the mental side of the game goes.
Yeah, Jorge did make a couple of mistakes, crash out of key races last year, and didn't get the points he needed to really make it a fight to the end.
Yeah, that's true. And then, Lacia Spargo retired. Everybody, I don't want to say everybody, but there's a lot of people that, he shouldn't be racing. I'm like, bro, he just got better with age. Absolutely got better with age. He won a freaking race. How many of you guys out there could say you won a MotoGP race?
Fair point.
All right, then. So you can't, it's Listen, I always like Elias. Did I like his attitude sometimes? Absolutely not. You know, everybody's seen him throw temper tantrums. I'm totally against that. I think that is a bad when you're in that position, if you're gonna do that shit in your trailer away from the cameras, right? Do that not on cameras. It just kind of gives it a bad name, right? Like that's why I think some people didn't really care for him too much because you come in there and be cussing and yelling and blah 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 blah. And I get it, tempers go, right? Shit happens, but
Yep.
again, dude, and me and Noah just said it, man. It's all the mental part of it, right? You still gotta, yeah, man. But and then next year, like I said, Martine's on the Aprilia, which everybody's like, I don't think he's gonna do that good. I think, bro, not only is Aprilia more motivated now, I don't think he's going to do as bad as people hope he's going to do as bad, right? I think he's going to come out swinging, and it might take him a couple races. Yes, I will say that, right? But I think once he gets it and figures it out, it's going to be right back where he was.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, cream always rises to the top, right? So basically, like when Johnny Ray in Top Rack, when Top Rack went to BMW and Johnny signed with Yamaha, I was like, at first, I was like, well, I think Top Rack might struggle a little bit more at the beginning. Did Johnny Ray? Not. It was the total opposite. You know,
Yep.
Johnny's still struggling. You know, same thing. My man, Matty Skoltz. Big shout out to Matty, man. Congratulations. I thought when he left the 1000s and got on the 600, I was like, man, I hope he don't struggle, right? Because it's a huge dump coming back down because you got to ride the bikes in totally different corners, braking, everything, right? But he absolutely nailed it, and look at him now, right? Now he's with big shout out to my man Blake Davis. They're both on the same team, him and Matty, on the brand new R9s, which is going to be super, super exciting. So
saw that the other day, that press release. That was pretty cool to see.
It is. You know what? One day we're going to see Noah in one of those press releases.
I hope so.
Bro, listen, it will happen. You just got to put in that hard work and dedication and keep on the path you are on. And dude, you will succeed 110%. Matter of fact, have you ever thought about getting a Club Noah? A lot of my European friends, and I bring the idea over here from all my mates out there in the UK, because they have a club. My mate Jake Marsh, Club 45, Owen Meller, dude, Kia Walker, they all have clubs. And what it is they have like 50 or 100 slots, right? And it's $50 a slot, $40 a slot, whatever it is. Whoever, when they sign up for your club, you send them. Everybody's got 100,000 knee sliders laying around that are used, that are probably in a freaking Tupperware somewhere, right? Big ass Tupperware. Do you keep your knee sliders, or you just chuck them?
No, I keep them.
Okay, there you go, right? So in posters, right? So somebody signs up to your club, send them a signed poster in the mail, right? And then every race weekend or club weekend you go to, you do a drawing out of all your members on there, and then they win your knee puck from that weekend. You take it off and you sign it and you give it to them, right? It's a way to help fund your road racing, Noah, but it's also a way to get people more involved into your racing. So now they're a part of your team. They feel like they're actually part of something instead of a fan showing up saying, oh, I like Noah and I like Gagne and Loris Baz, right? Kind of like what Kyle Wyman did with the KWR Army, right? He had a fan club, people signed up, certain amount of slots, they show up, they come in the pits, and all that. So that's something. Have you ever thought about doing anything like that?
Never had that idea. Didn't even know that was a thing. Now I do.
Bro,
yeah. I'll have to look into that maybe.
Dude, listen, you should. It's free. You don't have to put any money out there to even start it. It's all social media, right? You just start on social media. Hey, this year for 2025 season, I'm going to be back club racing. I got a new club, Noah, whatever you want to call it. I got 50 slots available, 100 slots, 75, whatever you want to do. Each one's at $40. This is what you get every weekend. You go to the club races. Maybe you have a little sticker, right, with all your club members on the tail section of the bike, somewhere on the bike, right? They don't have to be big. You take a screenshot of it. You post it out on Instagram and Facebook. Man, I just want to thank every one of my friends in the club. You guys are absolutely amazing. Stay tuned. Just it's simple, it's quick, it's easy, and man, you'll get a good following, and people will be. They'll be like, dude, you having a club next year? You're like, yeah, well, I'm only 4 races in the season. They're like, well, you let me know when the new club comes out, because I'm definitely going to sign back up, right? And like I said, it's a good way to build that fan base and get money for you to drive to Florida and do training or Jersey or whatever, right? And buy tires because tires are not cheap. Driving's not cheap. Gas ain't cheap. None of that shit's cheap, right? So
Nope.
just a food for thought, man. If you decide you want to do something like that, like I said, it's free, dude. Hit me up, bro. I will help you start it. We can talk about it. I got notebooks. We can write it all down, come up with names, the whole nine. I've said this to all my friends at that race. One of my buddies, Jillian Carrera, he has one, Club 40. You know, he raced out there in the British Talent Cup. So yeah, man. Have you ever thought about going out to let me ask you this, Noah. What is your goals in road racing? What would you like to achieve?
Be able to run a full season as a privateer team.
And you can do it.
The first step there.
It is. Absolutely right. You got to show up and race every race and to complete the season, right? But again, the club will help you get there too, right? And then you bring people along the journey. It's freaking great. I sign up to all my friends that have club. That's why I'm broke half the time. $40, $50 there. It adds up quick, right? But again, I'd rather support you, Noah, and buy your t-shirt and give you your $50 to your club than Pedro Costa. Like I said, somebody else, you know, that I don't know personally and that's already made it. You know what I mean? Well, you guys are trying to make it. So that's part of the journey.
Yes, definitely is.
100%. Well, listen, Noah, bro, I want to get into these personal questions. This is one of my favorite parts of the podcast right here. Well, we get to know Noah on a personal level, away from the racetrack and all the motorcycle talk. So my first question for you is, bro, what's for dinner tonight?
That is an excellent question. I'll know about 5 minutes before I'm about ready to start eating. When I decide I want to start cooking, I'll know what I'm eating.
So do you cook?
Sometimes.
Do you like to cook? I love to cook. I get it from my mom.
No,
I do. I like to cook.
I can cook. Don't love it.
I like it, man. I like to cook, man. I like to. It's the same thing. It's the whole journey. You put all this shit together. You try. It's like, oh my god, this shit's so amazing. My wife's like, hell no, that shit sucks. I'm like, dude, this shit bangs. I'm gonna eat it, right? But you'll have that sometimes. Do you like spicy food? Spicy at all? Like hot sauces or anything?
Not at all. No spicy food whatsoever.
He said
Buffalo sauce is the spiciest I'll go, and I don't even like some buffalo sauces.
Oh man, that's all right. That's all right. You'll have those people. I love spice, so it's good, man. It's good. Do you have any pets, bro?
No pets.
Why not?
Well, when you always travel, it's hard to have pets. Like last year and the year before.
Yeah.
Like 3 weekends in a row at the track. You're not leaving Saturday morning. You're leaving Thursday or Friday night. So it's hard to have pets when you're always gone.
This is true. Do you name your motorcycles?
No, don't name my motorcycles. Don't name my cars.
I don't name my cars neither. I used to name my bikes, but I don't anymore. I just call her look at my queen over there. She looks so good. Yeah, that's all of my queen. So I consider motorcycles like women. Let me make this clear. I say it all the time. You see this beautiful motorcycle, aka woman. I gotta ride her. I gotta have this motorcycle, right? You get her, you learn what she likes, what she don't like, the whole nine, her temperaments. Then you see another motorcycle, you're like, oh my god, she is so beautiful. I gotta have her too, right? So when you get on her, it's foreign. You got to get to know what she likes, what she don't like, the do's, the don'ts, the whole nine, right? So I compare them to women on that aspect. So that's just why I call them queens. They're all queens.
Yep.
So absolutely, my man. So are you a coffee drinker, bro?
No, not at all. I don't need it. I can wake up and 5 minutes later, I'm ready to go for the day. I don't need caffeine. There's no 2 o'clock feeling for me where I got to go get my second cup. As soon as I wake up, I'm ready to rock.
I love it, man. I just drink 1 cup in the morning, but honestly, I really don't need it. It's just I like the way coffee tastes, right? And again, big shout out to Livy Batty. He sent me a oh my god, I don't want to fuck this up. I think it was Raceline coffee. It's really good. I like it when I got to grind my own beans and then put it in. It's that smell, right? It's the journey in the morning to make the coffee. It's not so much the coffee. It's the journey, the smells, the grind. Yeah, man.
I've tried it. I mean, my job was we have free coffee at the job, and I'm like, all right, I gotta try. They're giving out free stuff. We gotta try it. So tried the free coffee. Didn't like it. Still don't like it. It's $3.99 and I still don't like it.
Hey, I've had a lot of free 99 stuff. I don't like neither. I'm like, nah, I don't care if it's free or not. Y'all keep it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Tell us something we don't know about you.
I'm my own mechanic. The bike, I know every bolt on that thing. I don't even need to try to guess what I pull everything out. I already know what wrenches and stuff and what sizes I need for everything when I tear it down and put it back together. So yeah, that bike was fully stock when I got it, and I ripped it down and built it to what it is now.
I love it, man. I love it. I love to hear that, man. I do the same thing. I went to Motorcycle Mechanics Institute in '99. Because man, I took my bike. I had bought a ZX6R 1996 in high school, right? So instead of a car, I got a motorcycle, which my mom was not too happy about. But dude, I saved up. I got a pipe, a header, a jet kit, ignition advancer, K&N filter. Took it to the dealership that I bought it from, and they had it for 2 weeks. And they're like, "We just can't get it running." And I'm like, "Don't touch it. I'm gonna come get it in pieces. I'm only gonna pay you for what you did. I'm not paying you for the full bill because I brought it to you to do this, and you didn't do it." So I brought it home. This is before YouTube and all this shit, right? Ordered me a shop manual. Had to wait on the shop manual to come in. Once it came in, it took me 8 hours. I did it all. Jet kit, drilled the fuel mixture plugs out, dude, the whole nine. Like, got it running, rode it to the shop that night on Fridays and Saturdays. It was a meetup spot for where I went riding. And I remember Cook was like, "Holy shit, who did your bike?" I was like, "Me." And I'm never bringing it back to another dealership ever again. Like, absolutely not, right? Like, so yeah, that's where my journey started with. Of course, I grew up riding dirt bikes with my buddies, and they, 2 strokes, and like, hey, this is oil injected. You put the oil here, it's clean the car, blah blah. So I knew that stuff, getting into it. But when you get on multi-car bike and you got to drill the plugs out and all that shit, I had no fucking clue, right? Good thing they had instructions. But yeah, I did it all myself and was like, you know what? Never again, people, never again.
Yeah, well, part of the sport, you gotta trust everything, right? So I know if I'm spinning the wrench, every bolt is torqued and marked and everything. And I'd say, I mean, I don't have a full-time mechanic, and that's his job at like Attack Yamaha or Warhorse Ducati, right? So I touch every bolt, make sure everything's where it should be, and that way I can get on the bike with confidence and not have to worry about something. A mechanical every week, or like, because mechanical is the worst thing to take you out of a race, right? That always sucks. That's the worst way to go out. Or getting taken out. That sucks too. But,
so as far as the mechanical side of that little Ninja 400, did you adjust the valves at all during the club race season, or were they pretty much fine?
it's just stock motor.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
I did a motor refresh on it. I sent my motor out, took the motor out, had the motor refreshed, and then when it came back, it was just stock motor. That was it.
Bolt and play. Let's freaking go, right? Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I love it. What's your worst habit?
Worst habit? Procrastination, probably. Waiting until the last minute. I don't know. You need the pressure sometimes to get shit done.
Bro, listen, I'm the same way, dude. I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't want to mow the lawn today. I'm going to procrastinate, right? I'm going to wait until it's fucking. My wife's like, dude, are you going to mow the lawn? You need a bush hog to mow. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. And then finally I'll get them to do it. I'm like, then I cuss myself. I'm like, God damn it, why'd I wait so long to mow the lawn? Now I got to mow it twice, right? Yeah. So I'm bad. I'm bad at procrastinating too. Wait till the last minute. Like today, I ain't even done none of my laundry. My wife's down there, got freaking clothes everywhere. I do my own laundry. That's something nobody knows about me. I don't think I've ever said on podcast. I do my laundry and my son's laundry, my clothes, because I wash them different than her. I don't ever use high heat. It's cold water, tumble dry low, which she's like, they're not dry enough, but I hang dry most of my clothes anyway, so I don't want them to be fully dry, right? Just to get the wrinkles out. And my wife's like, high. Throw it in the thing, fucking sanitize how it comes out. It feels like a heater. It feels good. Don't get me wrong. In the wintertime, yeah, I'll take my pajama bottoms and throw them in there when I get out the shower and put them on. It feels good. But other than that, yeah, I don't. Nah, absolutely not. So listen, bro, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Is that something you do too as well?
No, I try to read books. I like paper, so I try to sit down, try to read it. That's part of part of my routine. Trying to make it part of my routine. So yeah, I like picking up the physical book and reading it. Podcasts though, I listen to podcasts in the truck when I'm driving, but I like to read books in
All right.
physical form.
I got 2 questions for you then. What's the book you're reading right now? I listen to a lot of audiobooks, so I'm actually almost done with this one. Anthony Bourdain, Medium Raw. Man, it's such a good book. I listened to his other book. It's Anthony was a freaking awesome one when it comes to that. But I got a ton of freaking audiobooks on here that I listen to a ton of books, man. A wide range from motorcycle racing to cooking to I'm big into Egyptian and like the Spartans, right? The whole Battle of Thermopylae and the Spartan civilization and Egypt and the pyramids and the pharaohs and all that. It really interests me. So I listen to a lot of that stuff. Some actors' books, not a whole lot of actors, but what's his name was really good. Matthew McConaughey, his book Greenlight was really good. And then I listen to stuff like battles like Tom Shatterly. He was the guy with Black Hawk Down in the movie.
Yeah,
He was one of the guys that went in there and try to recover the Black Hawk, dude. He tells his whole story, and then all those stories. I listen to a lot of books and podcasts, bro. Absolutely, I listen to a shit ton of podcasts. What podcast do you recommend to people?
I like Pipe Dreams and then the Off Track with Carruthers and Bice. I listen to those a lot. Those are 2 good ones. And then there's another one I listen to, but it only makes sense if you watch their YouTube channel.
Which one's that one?
It's the Sea Boys TV podcast. Just a bunch of heads just going random shit with a bunch of motorized things out in Minnesota woods.
I love it. That sounds like something I would definitely listen to. Hopefully you listen to Pin to Gas too, man. Come on, man.
I was listening to one yesterday.
No, I love it. I'm just joking with you, man. Thank you for all the love and support, man. It really means a lot to me. But dude, I listen to Pipe Dreams, Off Track, and I also listen to Off Track in the UK. My mate Dave Neal runs a podcast called Off Track over there in the UK. It's all BSB and TT and all that. Chasing the Racing is another motorcycle podcast I recommend to you. They're all, again, BSB, TT, and all that stuff. It's probably the most famous podcast when it comes to motorcycle over there in Europe. Another one is my mate's Moto PG, not GP, but Moto PG in Australia. So big shout out to Boris, Fredo, and Tugs. Freaking phenomenal. I actually had all 3 of them on my podcast. I think I'm on the only podcast in the world that had all 3 of them on. But dude, they're fucking hilarious, bro. When you listen to them, you just like, you cry laughing the whole time. They got nicknames for everybody, and they make fun of Simon Crafer, not Simon Crafer, but Simon Patterson all the time. They call him, you fat bastard with big old titties and all this shit. Dude, it's fucking hilarious, dude. And then I listen to, of course, Danny Jones is a good one. Matt Beal, Joe Rogan. So yeah, man, I dabble in a bunch. So yeah, I when I'm at work or driving in the car, if it's not an audiobook, it's podcasting for sure. And then there's times where I don't want to listen to any of that shit, and I throw on some music, right? And I listen to all kinds of fucking music, from jazz to Frank Sinatra to Young Dolph to Eminem to country to whatever, right? All over the place, right? Are you the same way? You listen to everything?
Right now I've been like rock right now. It's gonna sound hilarious, but right now I'm on a Nickelback kick.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I like Nickelback. A lot of people made fun of them back then, but dude, good music's good music. If it sounds good to me, I'm gonna rock it, right? Yeah, I listen to Nickelback. One of my favorite songs they did is Animals.
Yeah, Animals, Burn It to the Ground.
Yeah, Burn It to the Ground.
I'm trying to think of some other good ones.
There's a bunch, man.
Pretty Missy, that's a good one. San Quentin. Gotta Get Me Some. Those are all good ones.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. What's your favorite holiday, bro?
Thanksgiving for sure.
Man, I'm not a big Thanksgiving guy. Like, I feel like everybody's got. I don't eat turkey. Period. Like, I don't go to the fucking store and buy turkey, or I just don't eat it, right? Even for Thanksgiving, I don't eat hardly any turkey. I'm more of a mashed potato, green bean casserole, rolls with a lot of butter, right? Like all that stuff. To me, I'd rather have like a fat, juicy prime, steak or shit. But let's just cook burgers or hot dogs or something, right? Or make fucking lasagna or something. But why we got to eat turkey all the time? I guess what I'm trying to say is when I go to my parents' house, I do all the dishes. So when it comes to Thanksgiving and we have 30 fucking people over there, bro, I'm in the kitchen for hours cleaning that shit up, right? So that's why I don't like Thanksgiving. That's my least favorite. So yeah, man. Are you into horror movies?
No, not at all.
No?
Not much. Don't like them.
Well, what's your top 3 favorite movies right now?
Top 3 favorite. I don't know. I'm a big action guy.
Okay.
And like gangsters too. And like I just saw Gladiator 2.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, it's a good movie. I liked it.
Did you see the first one?
Yeah.
Was it as good as the first one, or was it good? Yes, you should go watch it.
I think it was as good as the first one. They did a good job with it. 300's pretty good. A good movie too. That's
Bro.
I love that movie.
300 is my dude. That is my dude. You want to be motivated in anything in life, bitch? Watch 300.
Yeah,
Straight up, dude. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're going to play hockey, soccer, you're going to a singing competition, bro.
Yeah.
Watch 300. He says, Spartans, what is your profession? Oh, I'm like, bro, let's go. Give me a shield and a sword. Let's go. 300 is my shit. That's probably action movie. It's probably my all-time favorite action movie because I'm big into Spartans anyway.
The Sith is pretty good too for Star Wars.
Dude, listen, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. That was my question for you next. Are you Star Wars or Star Trek fan? Obviously, you said Star Wars, right? Fuck yeah, dude. So what Star Wars character would you be, Noah?
I like Anakin.
Everybody loves Anakin, right? Yeah, absolutely. Man, I wouldn't be a Jedi and I wouldn't be a Sith. Like I would walk that fine line in between, just because I think the Jedi, as I get to know the movies and you watch them, you fully understand Jedi is like a cult. You can't love nobody, but they want you to spread the love, but you can't have a girlfriend or a wife. Now, forget that. I gotta have a girlfriend and a wife. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna go out there and just kill people, but I'm gonna defend all the good people and fight all the bad people. I just wouldn't be part of the Jedi Council. What color would your lightsaber be?
See, I mean, I like the color red, so I'd want a red lightsaber, but that comes with being a Sith. But then there's blue, which is more of the blue is like the color they use for more of a
traditional
the fighting for the Jedi, more fighting focused, and green's the more like force, like sense. I don't know, was it they're like more meditation, like force, like teaching side of it. So I don't know, either red or blue.
Man, see, I'd be unorthodox. I'd do something completely different, like silver. Or, it'd have to be something completely different for sure. Bro, I ask everybody this, dude. Who's your celebrity crush?
I don't know if I have one right now. Back when I was younger, it was probably Megan Fox or Kate Upton when I was younger.
Right? I mean, everybody loves Megan Fox, dude. Absolutely. Or Scarlett Johansson.
That Transformers movie that gets everybody.
Everybody that watches is like, there's Megan Fox, bro. Like, yeah, dude. I can't say nothing because she is. So as far as like a TV series, are you binge watching anything on TV right now you could recommend?
Not a big TV guy.
Okay. All right. I like to watch TV shows. I don't always get a chance, but I have been binge watching. I'm a Walking Dead nerd, right? I like the whole zombie shit. It's fucking just cool. But I've been watching Fear the Walking Dead here lately. But Peaky Blinders, dude, that's really good. Peaky Blinders is a fucking awesome show, dude. There's a bunch of them, huh?
That I've seen the Peaky Blinders. I like it because my dad was into Peaky Blinders, so I kept the episodes when he was watching it, and that was a pretty good show from what I saw from the couple episodes I got to see.
It's intense, man. I started it actually when I was in the UK. I went over there to go to BSB. It's my favorite Cadwell Park. It's my favorite racetrack in the world. Bro, in Cadwell Park, okay, we go to any Moto America event, any racetrack here in America, dude, they're this fucking wide, right? There might be some that are a little smaller. Bro, you go to Cadwell Park, it's this fucking wide. I was like, holy shit. Like, I thought it was like pit out. I'm like, is this pit out right here? He's like, nah, mate, that's the track. And I was like, holy shit. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, and they got the mountain jump and the whole history of the track.
The
Bro,
mountain.
you gotta see that shit in real life. I'll send you some videos, bro. And I was just like, you see it in TV and you're like, holy shit. You see that shit in real life, you're like, what the fuck? Dude, are you kidding me? Did you just see Ron Vickers just, dude, full fucking sin? I'm talking about rear tire 6 feet off the pavement. Bro, it's fucking insane. You're like, holy shit. And there's 2 different angles you can take at it. So I stood back there and watched them because they come down, they go left and then right. And as soon as you turn right, it starts that uphill. And there's 2 different lines they take. You stay to the left, I think. You don't really jump it, but it still pops obviously a wheelie up it.
Right.
But you go to the right, bro. Josh Brooks, I was like, this is the most epic thing I've ever seen in my life. The most beautiful thing I've ever seen besides the TT. I'm a huge TT fan, right? I want to go to the TT. That's on my bucket list.
That's
that
too.
Bro, I told my wife like this: if I don't happen to make it while I'm alive and I'm dead, cremate me, whatever. But you got to put me on a plane. You got to take me over there. And don't tell them I'm taking my dead husband over there. He's burnt in this thing. Just put me in a bag. Take me over there. I don't care what section of the track. Just spread me off and bye. Deuces. Have a good life, right? Yeah, dude. I want to go so bad to the TT. I watch it every year. I love the TT Plus app. Dude, it's only when it first came out, it was $15 for the year. I think it's like $24, which $24, I'll pay it every year. Plus they have like Between the Hedges and a bunch of other series in there.
The Hedges.
Bro.
And then those other guys, the road, what's the King of the Road series over there? That stuff. Those guys are crazy. Although people doesn't think we're crazy, but no, those guys are crazy.
I see it as me and you, I'm talking specifically me and you and everybody else that does short circuit or track days, right? We're used to this. We feel safe in a wide racetrack or wide space, right? You get on somewhere like real road racing, the Isle of Man TT, the Macau, the Northwest 200, all that. Now you're in a confined space, right? So, they are just better at, I guess, turning that certain switch to where they're just as comfortable doing it in a confined space as they are a wide open space, right? Like, I'm not claustrophobic, but I remember we went on this little journey and they're like, dude, you got to go through this thing. And literally, bitch, I'm on my belly with my arms out going through this thing. And like, I was kind of panicking. Like, I could feel me like I'm going to freak the fuck out. Like, I got to get out of here. I can't take this. Dude, my buddy behind me, he totally wigged and freaked, which freaks me out. And I couldn't breathe. I'm like, yeah, not cool. Right. But they feel safe going speeds in a space like that versus me and you. I'm like, I'm good. I'll just be a fan and watch. Right.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's freaking awesome. Well, let me ask you this, man. If you can invite any 3 people to a private track day, anybody in the world, dead or alive, any road racer, movie star, whoever it is, what's the 3 people you invite to your track day?
Fabio Quartararo. I started in MotoGP when he started, when he made it there, and I was big fan of him still. He's fighting on undergunned machinery right now, but he's putting in the work on it. He's doing the best he can. Who else? Matthew Skoltz probably, and Cam Peterson, I think.
I wonder where Cam's going to end up because he hadn't announced. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
He's a great guy. I met him at Daytona a couple years ago. He's a great guy. And then I've bumped into him multiple times in the paddock afterwards. And he's awesome dude.
Absolutely. I say hi to him all the time when I go to the races, and he's absolutely a wonderful human being. His energy, he's always stops and talks to you. He's got the time. And what I really like is he looks you in the eyes, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and he's because he's in that moment, right? Dude, I love people like that. Like my man Max Flinders is the same way.
Yeah,
He's awesome, but just don't text him, right? Because it might be 3 months, but before he even texts you back, he's so bad at that, right? So that's probably Mac's worst habit, I would say for sure. But yeah, I told this to my son, man. In order to truly be friends with somebody, you gotta love them for their likes, and you gotta love them for their dislikes too, right? So,
Yep.
yeah, that's something I've been teaching them. Dude, so if you could, all right, let me ask you this: PlayStation or Xbox?
Not a big gamer, but I didn't get my first console till I was like 20 years old. And it happened to be an Xbox One, but that's just because my buddy got a PlayStation, so I took his Xbox.
You're like, you're not gonna be needing that now. Thank you. Yeah. Hilarious. Dude, I love to play, but I don't get a chance to play hardly at all. Especially now I got my cast on. I can't. It's so fat right here. I can't freaking my thumb. I can't get it on the. So my thumb, like, I can't even eat or anything with it. So yeah, it sucks. I watch my son play. He plays the shit out of Fortnite, which I'm not a Fortnite fan, but enough about all that. What's your favorite racetrack, bro?
Ooh. Jennings is fast and flowy. I like Jennings, and I like Jersey. It's all the same. It has, I, I think Jersey. I went to it for the first time this year. My home track is brutal. New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the road courses. That's a brutal. It's fun though. It's challenging, which is I like that part of it. It's a very technical track. I love it for that. But I think New Jersey is just the repave. I never rode New Jersey without the repave. So with the new pavement, the new turn one that they did, because I think they changed the way they paved turn one when they paved it, and just the fast and flowiness. I like Jersey. I think the best.
Yeah, it's awesome. I haven't had the opportunity to ride it yet, but it's on my agenda for sure. Absolutely, it is. You've been in road racing for X amount of years now. What advice would you give your younger self?
Just you always gotta stick with it. You can't get discouraged. Hit the ground. You gotta. If you hit it's gonna happen. Yeah, it's not if, it's when, right? Yeah, you always gotta push through it. If you're having a mental block or whatever, if you're having a problem, like you're like, oh, why can't I get faster? You gotta just keep pushing through, and you gotta rethink things. Sometimes go back to the drawing board and just keep picking yourself back up and pushing through everything. It's you get better and how you progress. Can't get happy and comfortable in one spot. You just gotta keep pushing. That's how you get faster.
Absolutely. Favorite color, bro?
Despite my bike, my favorite color is probably red.
Why ain't you got no red on a bike then?
I do. I have little bits of red, but the color scheme that I picked was so that way I was just a
Stand
giant.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, like that way my dad he'd pick me out right away. So that way he knew in the event of a red flag if I had hit the ground or not.
I love it. I love it. Thinking about pops, man. It's one thing again I love about our sport is the whole family agenda on it for sure. If you could have one superpower, what superpower would it be?
Oh. Well,
Noah's like, I wasn't prepared for this.
it's a sport of road racing, so if I couldn't get hurt, that'd be fantastic. Just indestructible. You hit the ground, my bike might be in a million places, but you just get back up. You're like, all right, let's go build another one.
Right. Kind of like Superman then, right? You can just do anything unless somebody had kryptonite, you're good. I love it, man. I love it. Well, listen, dude, we're almost an hour and 30 of this, so we're going to end this podcast here in a minute, but I do have one last question for you, and then we'll get into all our shouts outs and all that. And just stay on with me after we end this, because we'll go ahead and schedule our part 2 of this podcast. Currently, right now, if Noah had his own Moto America team, what manufacturer motorcycle would you have? And who's the 2 riders in Moto America you would put on your team, on your bikes?
Oh. I think that depends on what class we're in.
You pick the class, whatever. You want to do twins, you want to do superbike, whatever. What class, what manufacturer, and who's the 2 current riders you'd put on?
I think I'd do a superbike rider and a field of superbike rider and a stock 1000 rider. Put Hayden Gillum on the stock 1000. I met him too. Good dude. And probably put Maddie on a Yamaha on a super bike. Put Caden on a Honda on the stock.
I love it. I freaking love it, man. I would, if I had any team in Moto America in Superbike, I'd bring factory Kawasaki, bro. Like we need the green back in there, right? I'd bring Kawasaki back. And the two current riders, man, I put Brandon Posh and SDK.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I put. And you know, I got so many friends in Moto America. Yeah, I'd want to put them all on, right?
All
But
on the same team, yeah.
all on the same team, man. Let's go. I'd have one big giant team in Junior Cup, Twins Cup, Talent Cup, all this, and I'd give all my friends a ride. Absolutely, I would. All my women friends too. Absolutely, every single one of them. Yeah, but Moto America is not that big, right?
Right.
I wish, but yeah. Listen, Noah, go ahead.
I said we're growing. It's a lot bigger than it was when they took it over, so it's going in the right direction.
100%, you know, and a lot of that also has to do with the baggers and the super hooligans class, which I'm a huge fan of.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something you ever consider doing with super hooligans?
I've thought about it for sure. That's another thing. Maybe another way to get back on the grid is super hooligans for sure. And then baggers are just insane to watch.
Bro.
I remember I was at Daytona when James had that absolute what is it, tank flapper coming out onto the banking. That was crazy to watch in person.
I've never been to Daytona, and I'm going next year, and I can't wait.
First thing you're gonna say once you go through that tunnel is, "Holy shit, this is a lot bigger than I thought it was."
Yeah, I know. I can't wait. I can't wait, man. I said the same thing it was the opposite when I went to Cadwell Park. I was like, holy shit, this place is a lot smaller than I thought it was, right? Yeah, it's beautiful though, man. God, it's so beautiful. UK is freaking absolutely amazing. Can't wait to go back and hang out with all my mates. And oh no, you wasn't there. He was at Mid Ohio. My mate Luca Allen from BSB come out here and stayed with us. Well, didn't stay with me, but he was there for the Moto America weekend at Mid Ohio, which was awesome.
Definitely gonna get your steps in at Daytona.
Right, dude. So are you allowed to bring like a little pit bike and ride it around like you can at all the other?
It was a couple years ago, so I don't remember too much. I know I saw the riders and everything zipping around on them, but I don't particularly remember about the fans. But yeah, definitely get your steps in there. It's a big place.
I'm definitely gonna bring me a little pit bike, 100%. I learned my lesson when I went to Road Atlanta, bro. That freaking hill, walking up and down that hill, I was like, bro, like I got it. I'm bringing me a pit bike next time I go there too. It was, yeah, man. It was, and then the whole generator story we had it. That's a whole nother story. So yeah, absolutely. But listen, Noah, it's been an absolute honor to have you on the podcast. Can't wait for part 2. I'm gonna let you end it, give all your shout outs and all that cool stuff. But before we do, big shout out to Next Level Financial for all your financial needs. Bison Track, bro. Noah, that's one question I meant to ask you. How did you and Bison hook up? How did that relationship?
So they came to the Loudon Classic when it was the 100th. Then they came. I met them. My buddy had a Bison suit. I was thinking about maybe getting a Bison suit, but I was in my Alpine Star suit and it was doing fine, but definitely does not fit anywhere near like my Bison suit does now. It's 100% the best fitting suit I've ever had. So yeah, we started talking to them, and then I just was like, maybe I'll get a suit or whatnot. So I just had Rob measure me, and Rob and Tosh are great people. Absolutely love working with them. They're great people. Great products. I couldn't ask for better sponsors than them.
Dude, they're the most beautiful, some of the most beautiful people you're gonna meet. I tell everybody that, right? And their products are fucking top notch. Go to any Moto America club race, you walk around, you see a lot of people on Bison, and there's a reason for that, right? So again, bisontrack.com, people, join the herd. What are you waiting on? Treat yourself because you deserve it. I know I deserved it. That's why I got it. Noah too, right? That's why he's got one. And so my next question for you is, Noah, obviously the relationship continues next year. You're gonna come out with a new design and a new suit and all that.
Yeah, we're continuing again next year, which I'm excited about. So it's gonna be a good time next year, and see what happens.
Are you going to change the colorway up at all, or?
I'm not sure yet. I don't know. We'll see what happens. See what shakes out.
Stay tuned, right? You guys stay tuned. So when I did my suit with them, I just said, look, y'all know I run the podcast. You see my logo. Obviously, the logo is going to be on there. Implement all my colors on my logo onto the suit. Morgan absolutely knocked it out the park. She sent me the first images of them. I was like, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, I love you, Morgan. This is freaking amazing, right? And yeah, man. And then the shirts to go with it. Yeah, man, they're freaking amazing. So again, people, bisontrack.com. Flying Eyes Optics. Big shout out to Flying Eyes Optics for all your sunglass needs. SFL Mini GP in Florida and in Jersey. To me, they have that's where all our legends are coming out of, man. Avery Dreyer, Brandon Posh, Gus Rodeo, Mazziato, Isaac Woodworth. I mean, Andrew Way. The list goes on, dude. Yondell Medea. I mean, dude, so big shout out to SFL Mini GP. If anybody wants to get into motorcycles, wants to learn to ride and get into racing, there's no better than SFL Mini GP. So I need you guys to go to all the social media and Mini USA SBK, like and follow them because they're part of SFL Mini GP. They're doing big things. SFL is doing big things. Big shout out to my RD Racing, my family out there in the UK, and my mate Jake Marsh. Man, I love you guys. You are freaking legends. Vet2 Track for all my veterans out there. My buddy Jim has a business called Vet2 Track. His whole motto is curing PTSD one lap at a time, right? So let's freaking go. It's an awesome program. Big shout out to 64 Degree Racing. Noah, I say this all the time. My man Tate, he sent me a 2-piece custom undersuit. I love my Bison undersuit. It's one of the best out there. What I love about my Bison suit, it's got the man zipper on it, right? Where we ain't got to get fully undressed anymore to go to the bathroom. We just take off the top, boom, we're good to go, and don't show up to the track with just one undersuit. Trust me, you don't want to do it. You want to have at least that's one thing, socks, underwear, and multiple undersuits. Gotta have the shorts and the pants, whatever. They're dirty. We're men. Cool. I ain't here to impress nobody anyway. But those, absolutely. So when you're at Bison, obviously you got to get your undersuit. For a 2-piece, I love my 64 Degree Racing. It's absolutely phenomenal. For all your custom body work, Ghetto Customs, Chris Parrish is an absolute legend. His body work is too. Big shout out to my man Martin. You guys can go to theclothingkings.co.uk and get all your Pendergast merch out there in the UK, and you can get it here in the US. They will ship. BSB Barmy Army, STG for all your needs. If anybody wants to order any parts, dude, Max Van and Brian Van, they're absolutely amazing. Again, support your friends in the industry, right? Don't order it from Parts Unlimited or any of that. Go straight to STG, get them. Big shout out to Road Racing World and the Road Racing World Fund. It's very important that you guys go to roadracingworld.com, donate to the Road Racing World Fund. It is for our air fences. So legends such as Noah and all them are super safe out there on the track in case they end up going down. We need it, right? Just like the corner marshals, the ambulance. If we didn't have none of that, guess what? We're not racing. So roadracingworld.com, sign up. Anybody in Pennsylvania need a bike, a four-wheeler, some performance work, motor work, whatever your needs are. Carnes Performance. Look no further. If anybody is in North Carolina, RTR, ready to ride, right? My man Ryan Snooks, dude, absolutely amazing. People here in Virginia, Coleman Power Sports. What are you guys waiting for? For all your needs, all 3 of those dealerships are some of the best in the whole world. If you're not in a KYT helmet, I don't know what you guys are doing out there, but you need to get a KYT helmet. They're absolutely phenomenal. So big shout out to Brandon Craytu, KYT. And if you're not on K-Tech suspension, again, you need to be. So get out there, get in touch with K-Tech, get in touch with me. I'll put you in direct contact. Big shout out to Dakari, Kendall, and my man Birch. Absolutely amazing human beings. Yeah, listen, that's basically all I have. Noah, tell everybody where they can find you on social medias. We need to get that club going for you and all that good stuff.
So it's just Gnarly Racing LLC, Instagram. So it's NRLY Racing LLC. That's my race page. That's where you'll find all the posts and race updates and all that stuff.
I know, because I text Noah, I was like, bro, I can't find you on Facebook. Like, I can't even find you on Instagram. What's the deal? And he sent me the link and boom, there it is. So listen, again, it's been an absolute honor to have you on today. Just stay with me. We'll go ahead and schedule part 2. Thanks for everybody that watches, likes, and comments. If you guys have not had a chance, go to my YouTube, Podbean, all that good stuff. Hit the like and subscribe. I'm not on Apple yet. I've been accepted. I'm like this close to my podcast being on Apple. So you guys stay tuned. That means I'll be everywhere. And thank you guys for all the love and support. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. And yeah, I hope everybody, I got to work tomorrow and then I'm off for like 7 or 9 days. So yeah, let's freaking go, people. Anyway, we'll see you guys soon. All right, Noah, hang on. Let me end this and just stay on with me, okay?
Yep.
Play outro.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.